Do you ever feel like taking a walk on the wild side? How about a drive? Because if you don't have the proper vehicle, it doesn't matter what you want. But today we have the 2022 Nissan Frontiers and we're about to break them down, package by package by package. Let's go. Kicking it off, we are going to start with the standard trim, and that is going to be the Frontier S. And just like the Frontier, starting underneath the hood, you will see that beautiful V6 engine, which is now cranking out 310 horsepower and giving 281 pound-feet of torque. What that means to you is, if you got a bunch of rocks you have to toss in the back, you could fit 1,600 pounds of rocks in the back of the vehicle. But let's say you need to tow something, no problem. The Frontier has the ability to tow up to 6,700 pounds. So no matter what you're doing, whether it's for work or pleasure, the Frontier can get you there. Speaking of the power, what do you do when it's developed? Well, the nice thing about the Frontier is that even in the S model trim, you have your option of 4x2 or 4x4, which this particular model actually happens to be a 4x4. So if you're out there and you need that little bit of extra traction when it's a little snowy, or let's say you're on the beach and you just need to get out of a rut because you actually do live down here in Florida, pop that thing into four-wheel drive and you will be able to go ahead and extract yourself. So that is another great thing. And by the way, if you live in Central Florida, you could actually buy a car from me directly. Don't come to my dealership saying, I love your videos, but I bought a car from that guy. No. Click that link in the first description below that says schedule with Miguel. That way I can guarantee that once you get here, you'll be getting me. And if you like the video and can't buy a car from me, don't worry, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. That way you and I can keep on growing the channel big and strong, baby. But let's get back to the Frontier. Let's get into the aesthetics of the car, and I'm so finally happy that Nissan decided to give this thing a facelift because it's been a long time coming. Over a decade it's been since the Frontier started to look a little different, so I appreciate that a lot. And on the S trim, it actually offers a pretty handsome package. So not only do you have the capability of the vehicle, you have its rugged good looks. And I do mean rugged because if you go ahead and look at the wheels, you will see the 16-inch steel wheels, which on a car of this class actually looks and fits the part. It plays the part. And of course, from the front end, you can see the family resemblance with his bigger brother, the Titan, and swinging around back, you could see that same resemblance. You know from a distance that it's a Nissan, which I absolutely love when manufacturers make their cars instantly recognizable, and Nissan has done that with its new Frontier. Those eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that this particular Frontier is the crew cab, meaning it has 4 full doors with a real back seat. For example, I'm about 6'1", and when I hop in the back, I can fit just fine. So if you're going to work or you're going fishing, load up the Frontier and you can go. Now, once you hop up front, you can also see that I am super comfy myself, and I love the fact that even though this is the standard model, it feels more ritzy than the traditional base models of old because you do have push button start. I love push button start, and I feel that every single car should have push button start as your entry-level option, and the Frontier does. Now, going to the push start, once you go ahead and crank it up, you can see this little graphic that says Frontier and a picture of the actual Frontier right in front of you. And then once you turn it off, you can see how efficient you have been driving in case saving the polar bears is something you would like to get into. But Miguel, I need a lot of standard stuff and the base model doesn't help. Well, you are in luck because if you happen to get the technology package, like this one, you also do get all the standard safety and convenience things you would come to expect in modern vehicles. You have blind spot warning, so that way if someone's next to you, it'll light up to let you know somebody's actually there. You also do have the rear sonar system, so when you're backing up, it beeps, and let's say you don't hit the brake, you have rear brake assist as well, so that way you don't end up running into your neighbor's mailbox that they just put up and forgot to tell you about. So that is another phenomenal system. Plus, if you're going on long drives, you also do have intelligent cruise control, so that way if you set it at 70 and then a slowpoke comes in front of you, guess what? The truck will adapt to the driving and not let you run into the slowpoke in front of you. So that is a lot of cool stuff. And remember, this is the S and you have all of those options. Like I was saying, if you're looking for just a truck to do what needs to be done, whether for work or if you just want something to help lug some stuff around the house, Nissan makes a pretty strong argument with the Frontier S. But let's say the S isn't good enough for you. What do? Well, if you're Nissan, all you do is add a letter. So we're gonna go from the S to the SV. Let's go. And that is the Nissan Frontier SV in tactical green. I haven't seen a color like that too often, so I'm glad that Nissan decided to go a little out there and put that color and call it tactical green. Now, if you're looking for the differences between the S and the SV, you should start at the rims, because the S we know has 16-inch steel rims. These have 17-inch alloy wheels, look a little bit more complicated and a little bit fancier because they are. With that being said, let's say your lifestyle mandates you have a little bit more space in your pickup truck. Well, the Nissan Frontier is happy to oblige, because you have your options of the short bed or the long bed, which this SV happens to be. Because by extending out the bed from short to long, you gain a good amount of space for whatever you need, in case you don't want your boogie boards flying out the back or your surfboards flying out the back. With the Frontier, you could actually dictate which is actually gonna be best for you. Another cool thing about the SV model is that even though you still retain the push button start, you gain remote start right here from the keys. So once you lock up the car, all you have to do is push and hold the button until it fires up. And then you can let it sit for a little bit so that way it can start to cool down. But that's another great thing that you get when you upgrade to the SV. Not all the differences are on the outside, because hopping in, you'll see that it's a little bit more refined in the SV as compared to the S. First and foremost, the seats, super lovely, super comfortable, and I love what they did with the patterning on the seats. It is just so nice to look at. And if Nissan should be known for only one thing, the seat comfort, it's out there, just saying. Now, hopping into the back, you have the same style of seats as the front, but you do gain a window opening. So if you're going fishing and you need to put your poles through, boom, the window opens, which the SV is the first level that can do that. Now, talking about comfort, you have a few differences. Dual zone air conditioning, lovely feature to have. If the driver is super cold and you want to warm up, go ahead, crank up your side of the AC, so that way nobody has to fight, you don't have to freeze, and the driver doesn't have to sweat. Everybody's going to be happy. Electric seat is another comfort thing, because on the driver's side you do have electric seat once you opt to get the SV. Now, something really cool that I love, because once you get it you can never go back to not having it, is electric mirrors. The S, believe it or not, has manual mirrors. You have to go ahead and poke it around so that way you can adjust it just right to you. But when you get into the SV, you finally do have electric adjustable mirrors, like it should be. Let's face it, this is a 2022. It is time to make it standard, but that is a little difference, and it is so lovely. Now, talking about refinement, it's magnificent. Seriously, the steering wheel, same size, but you do have the leather wrap steering wheel on here, which just feels oh so good. It's like a baseball glove or basketball or something. I don't know, it just feels right, which is a lovely thing. And little minute detail nonetheless, is the door handles. On the S, you have the regular door handles on the inside, but once you get into the SV, you do have the chrome door handles as well. All right, guys, now that you know a good bit about the S and a good bit about the SV, let's say you want to take your game to the next level. These two are good trucks, but you're still feeling like you're an amateur hour. What is a person to do? Well, Nissan went ahead and answered it, because the only thing to do is to go pro, baby. Up next, we have the 22 Frontier Pro X. And this one, everybody, is the Nissan Frontier Pro X. And no, I did not misspeak. I did not mean Pro 4X. I meant Pro X, because you get to choose. Do you want two-wheel drive with the Pro X or four-wheel drive with the Pro 4X? You see how the name goes? But hands down, the Pro Series line of Frontier is the coolest. Just flat out. I mean, you pretty much have everything. You have the Bilstein shocks built into the car, so if road gets rough, it does not matter. Another cool thing that you get with this are all the little accents. You got the lava red tow hooks underneath the front bumper. Look at the Nissan logo. You still have that lava red trim on the outside. Once you hop into the inside, it still reflects the contrast with the Pro X seats. Absolutely amazing. You still do have all the space on the other models that you've had if you had the crew cab, but you gain a few other things. This one also happens to have the convenience package, which means once you look in the bed, you will also see that you have these little utility mounts in case you got to strap down motorcycles or lawn equipment or whatever it is that you're doing. You have those mounts already built in. Another thing about the convenience package is that it is the first level to bring wireless charging. So if your phone can charge wirelessly, place it on this little pad and you are good to charge. Beyond that, heated seats, heated steering wheel, and my favorite, 360-degree camera. That way parking is a breeze. Now, getting here back to reality, you'll notice a big empty spot between these two vehicles, and the only reason for that is because I had a buddy come in and say, hey, I got a customer, I need to sell the truck because, let's face it, this part shortage right now, it sucks and it's serious. But guys, thank you for coming along with me. And no, I didn't cover every single little bitty detail of the car because that would be way too long and I'm too fun for that. But guys, if you made it to this video, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, consider subscribing, and remember, if you're in Orlando and want to buy a car from me, click that first link in the description below. That's a schedule with Miguel. That way, once you get here, I can guarantee that you will be getting me, guys. Thank you so much, and that has been my time. So until next time, I'm Miguel, your car guy, and I'll see you soon. And that, let me fix this a little bit. There we go. It's better. And I do like this little two-tone patterning. From the Boulder, what was the name of the color? Crap, I think it's Boulder Gray. I got to do it by the road. It's the only place that works and it makes sense in my intro. Ugh, flies.